The problem with those following and teaching, you misspell anyway, flat Earth is I don't know any person running around and trying to start a doctrine and preach round Earth. This is foolishness. You don't see them out the doctrine with your indoctrination with the globe in every fucking classroom, NASA on 24 hours a day. So you don't see that. Fuck. Just because they're not calling it what you want to call it, cupcake, indoctrination, or teaching. They don't need to. It's subtle, you know. Idiots.
Oh, you just added to your story. Looks like. Somebody just posted a 928 for sale.
Or which one? Let me see.
On Facebook.
It's black. Got pictures of the inside?
Yeah.
Those are the original seats.
Yeah, go back the other way.
Oh, they're fucking brown. No, bad. They're not. They're okay. They're original seats, though. Yeah. All right. How much did he say? How much? I didn't miss it.
8,000.
That's what I'm buying this one for. What year is that one?
84.
Oh, it's 84 too? Huh, that's right. Okay. Starts right up.
What's that?
That's my birth year.
Oh, 84.
84 is?
Looking at Porsches?
Uh-huh.
That's like my dream car is 84 Porsche.
Like you want a 911, right?
Yeah.
911?
I want like a brown one.
Ah.
That's for sure.
Engine's clean, wow.
They're not too
Engine's
bad these
fucking
days.
really clean.
Yeah, how much do they run for?
This guy's selling his for 9. I'm buying one for 8.
Really?
Uh-huh.
Wow. Oh, that's why you got all that cash.
Yes.
You're gonna go buy a car today.
Yeah, back to today. Yeah, probably today if they
That's
have
awesome.
if it's ready. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Man, I love those cars. Man, that's so cool.
I'm getting the red one.
Ooh,
The red one.
wow.
So it has the original seats in it. Mine doesn't.
Yeah.
So I want to switch them out and
No.
then let Brooke drive this one. I drove this one. It's a little sluggish. I think there's an oil leak, so I'll have to probably drop $4 or $5 grand in it. But
Yeah.
Are we recording?
if I can get it.
I'm recording, but I'm not
Okay.
swearing or anything. So.
Oh, should I put these on here?
Yeah, make sure I can hear you.
Test 1 2 1 2. Damn, I sound sexy. Fuck.
Jim, do you listen to
Myself?
Kevin
All the time?
Samuels?
No, who's that? Kevin Samuels. I don't think I have.
He went to Millwood.
Oh no, you told me about him the other day.
I did.
Yeah. Yeah. He was what 88, 89, something like that.
It's I think my
87.
88.
Okay. 88.
Yeah, he's 52 now. He's our age.
Okay. Yeah, I should have been 87.
Oh, me too.
Yeah.
You took 5 years?
I never graduated. You not know that? I fucking never graduated high school. I'm so done with high school. I went out to California, and I don't know if I told you the story. So I was 4 years high school, right? Northwest Classic got kicked out. Pump City West got kicked out. John Marshall went off 4 years and just, left. Anyway, so I went to California. I was out there in 90. My first year is 90, middle 91. Anyway, my mom's going, you getting in school? Whatever. I was like, fuck. Like I said, but I want to go. I told Mom I'm going to UCLA. So I go to, and this is 90s, right out of the 80s, right 90s.
Mm-hmm.
I go to UCLA. I said, okay, how can I get into school? Because I didn't know fucking. I mean, I didn't go through recruiting. Didn't do shit. So I fucking go. I go get the admissions counselor, and they go, well, do you have your transcripts? And I said, no, I don't have my transcript. Where'd you go to high school? I told them where I went to high school. Anyway, so have you taken your ACT? I said no. So anyway, I took the ACT, fucking aced it. I made like 35 on my ACT, and they enrolled me. And I took non.
Good.
Well, oh yeah, I fucking hated school. I hate school. I was always smarter than teachers. What the deal was. I took nonlinear dynamics. Yeah, nonlinear dynamics, Chaos 1, and then theater. Just two courses. Went 9 weeks, got my first report card, sent it to my mom, and never went back. Never went back. Then, of course, modeling and, coloring bad and all those days. That was a lot of fun. A lot of cocaine.
Cocaine
Oh, yeah.
in the 80s, 90s? No way.
Yeah. A lot of ecstasy and cocaine. And then, when I moved back to Oklahoma, because I think I just got back from Milan.
What was that, 94, 95-ish?
No, I came back.
93?
No, I came back permanently in 2001.
Well, I'm talking about like come back to visit.
I'd come back every couple of years at
Okay.
least, yeah, because that's when during the summer I'd see you and I'd hang out with Marquez all day.
310.
Yeah, 310. Yeah. I think I was back for Christmas that time because I remember I think it was Christmas for that time. And then so when I moved, I went back out to California anyway. So when I moved back, because I've been modeling and doing all this other shit for 10 years, and what the fuck am I gonna do, right? So I was bartending at the Vineyard Restaurant in Edmond, and Terry McCain. Anyway, so I found this guy to start bartending, and then that's when Donnie Leonard and Todd Monday said, "Man, we're opening a mortgage company." It was Phoenix Mortgage, and that's how I got into fucking mortgages. I went from and for 20 years later, I'm fucking still doing it, killing it, making more money than a fucking doctor.
So what's going on now in this? Is it no? The rates are still way low. Are they creeping up yet or no?
They are, yeah. They're starting to creep up a little bit, because we got a lot to talk about today too. The New World Order, the Great Reset, all that stuff is here. And
does this anything cross with the mortgage company and?
Well, in that it's all finance, it's all money, right? So when they fuck with the Fed rates or the dollar and they're devaluing, it's going to affect everything really. This Great Reset, bro, it's gonna. I mean, everybody's fucked if you don't get some gold and silver, some diamonds, some food, water, all this shit, because they're serious about what they're doing.
When should I have my water ready?
And yeah, and it's. I mean, I was
like soon or like in the next few years.
Well, here's the deal. We don't know the timeline, but when I was talking about the Great Reset 2 years ago, people didn't know what it was, and they're like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" And so well, listen, the Charles Schwab, all the new George Soros, Bill Gates, you name the fucking globalist, Justin Trudeau, Angela Merkel, name them, they're all talking about it now. Now today, and I'm going to see, guys, it's here, and they're not hiding it anymore. This Great Reset. So it's going to affect everything. Basically, okay. So I've got something for you guys to say that's probably gonna
Yeah, Matt, you can jump in anytime too. So.
Huh?
Okay.
Oh yeah, totally.
Keep
Yeah.
going. You're fine.
So I'll add something today about. I'll give the teaser. Do you know you lose most of your freedoms under a Republican president? Question mark. And I'll get into it. Something I've always known it, but I've never talked about. I go, well, shit, I need to start telling people this, because this Republican Democrat is just first little sheep down at the bottom, right? To think we have a choice, and there is no choice. They've got their agenda. They're marching to their agenda, and it's the globalist agenda, and the monetizing the debt since George Bush got in office, cut all the after 9/11, after that planned deal that the government did, they cut the interest rates and they started monetizing the debt. And basically monetizing is just writing checks, printing money, right? Because that's all you hear now. That trillions of dollars. We got this $6 trillion bill. We got this $6 trillion bill, right? Print. Because they're devaluing the dollar. Because they're going to move everybody into crypto, right? The digital. We got Bitcoin. We got blockchain. Yeah, the blockchain technology. XRP, Ethereum, all these things. That's where we're headed. This money I have in my fucking pocket, that money, no good. It's gonna be worthless here in the next. And you asked how I started this whole diatribe. Was you asked when? Don't know.
If you had to guess.
Yeah, if I was to guess, 2022 is gonna be a big year. I would say at least by 2023. 2024 at the latest, I would think. Because they're moving all the chess pieces around, right? All this crap with Maxine, whatever her name is, and
Maxine Waters.
no, No, not the Congress lady, California, but the child molester girl lady. Jeffrey Epstein and Max Galen or whatever her name. Anyway, my point in saying bring that up is this all a sideshow. This is to keep everybody down here busy, not paying attention to what the globalist agenda is doing. And if you look at the gematria behind so you have their agenda, then you have when they do things. I've got the globalist agenda being they do things on certain dates, certain ley lines, and they use certain words and verbiages to do things. This is all occultism, right? And this is what we've been living. And when I give my talks at certain churches and stuff like that, I go, let's do this, folks. You and I say that the devil is not real, God is not real. Let's say we're atheists or agnostics. Let's get in that boat together, right? And then let's take that boat, and now we're on the boat with all these other crazies, right? But you and I don't believe in shit. There's no God, there's no Spain, there's no heaven, there's nothing. You and I, when we're dead, we're dust, right? The people that are running this crazy train, that are running this crazy train, they believe in a higher power, and that higher power is Lucifer. Now, we can argue all day long whether he's real or not, okay? So we can take that debate and push it aside, but the people that are running this train, steering this ship, they believe in a higher power. That higher power to them is Lucifer. They're worshiping Lucifer. Okay. So if he's real, who knows? But what everything they're doing right now is affecting us in our life to that ends, to get to their goal of Lucifer. Now, if we get to the end and he's not real, according to these guys, because you and I know he's real, but they get there and it doesn't matter, because right now they're affecting our lives and they're wanting to the thing you get in your arm, right? Control. It's all about control. Masks, all about control. So they believe in something. Just because you and I always say, Mr. Agnostic, Mr. Atheist, it's not about you. They don't. You don't matter in this conversation, because it's them that are steering. You're in the car with them, and you can't. They're behind the wheel, and you can't do anything about it because you're in the back seat buckled in, right? So just undo the buckle and understand that they're going somewhere, and they have a goal, and that goal is total domination and autonomy over everyone. And that started with this. That started with with that thing in your arm. I mean, let me back up here. It all started under 9/11. Yeah. 9/11 with the Patriot Act, NDAA, TSA, NSA, all those control mechanisms, right? That's kind of where. And then Obama got in office, and he didn't have really a lot. He had healthcare, that stuff that you really don't. Obamacare, yeah. So there are ancillary things that you really don't notice immediately, but they had a big effect. So yeah. But anyway, so.
So where does this leave normal people? Where am I going to be when this happens? What's going to happen to me?
That's
2024.
Well, it's funny you should ask that, because not funny. It's a good question, because I started thinking. I go, where the f are all these doctors? Where are the good guys? That's been my question when I wrap up my talks. I'm like, where are the good guys? Where are the peasants with the pitchforks? Right? Where are these people at? So to answer your question, where does that leave you? Where does that leave me, right? Because we're in the same boat. All the doctors that are not into this thing that you put in your arm, why don't they start a hospital, right? Could they get funding? Could they get the licensing, right? Because you got to remember, the New World Order agenda, they can squash anybody they want to. So if we get together collectively, we have a chance to survive a little bit, I guess. Because they want depopulation. That's what this thing's about. It's not about your health. It's never been about your health, ever.
No, if it was, they would tell you to lose weight, get some sun, take some vitamin D.
Oh, yeah.
Go to the gym.
Yeah, no, exactly, yeah.
They're not saying any of that. That's kind of...
They should say, you do all these, like you just said, and then also go get this for you, too. Because it's free. No, they don't care. Just get this. Get the.
I hear ads on the radio.
Oh my God, I hate it. Especially
like, what is wrong?
What is that one state? It's the one, the popular state, 94.7. Whatever, the Brew.
Yeah.
Is it the and one of anyway? And it's
I hear about all of them.
It's on all of them, and I hear these fucking commercials, dude. Oh, and then the DJ's like, "Oh God, do your part."
Yeah.
I'm like, in my head, I'm like, bitch, what if I don't like you?
Oh God.
Why would I want to
That-
protect? Why do I?
That's your job. You've got to propagate all this nonsense.
Well,
That's
no.
your, part of your job.
See,
like
it's
if you at Kelly Ogle.
oh, I know. See, and see,
It's like,
That
that'd be a
is-
sad day.
Kurt. That here we go. Now we're down another level. Here's the problem with that, is that it's their job. Right, you heard
Right.
you heard the old things. Well, that's what the Nazis said, right? The brown shirts. So it was their job. So we're the good guys because if you're sitting back, the cop. I mean, our police officers, our military, all the people with the guns. Where do they draw the line? Or are they going to be seduced into this satanic world that we're in the midst of right now? You know, because your life, your life or your life or you're not your life. You know, what are you willing to die for? You know,
What are you going to do? What are you going to do and me to do to prepare? What's going to be different in 3 years? What are we doing?
Well, so what's going to be different? It's you have to learn crypto. I mean, learn you have to learn where they're going. As an individual, you need to get shored up as best you can. Prep. You know,
Basics.
the basics. Yeah, the basics. Gold, silver, diamonds. Gold, silver, water, food. The basics, yeah. Because when they shut down the supply line, because they've already done that pretty much out on the West Coast. You know, all those ships on the West Coast. This is all done on purpose. It's called the Hegelian dialecta. Right? We've talked about this before. The Hegelian dialecta. Synthesis, antithesis, and synthesis. So they're all. It's basically problem, solution. And then they bring in their solution for any problem that they create, basically, right? So the government creates a problem, the bottom rises up. Hey, we need, like the vaccine. They create this virus, they send it out, and they say it's the worst ever, which it's not, but they get everybody fucking scared. Fear is used to control. They get everybody wound up. Okay, the Hegelian dialecta. It's top down, bottom up, and inside out. Basically, it's how Czechoslovakia turned communist overnight, and it's how we've turned into a vaccine, or I say most of us. I don't know what that percentage is because you can never believe the numbers. But the government causes a problem, right? They wait for us, the sheep, to say, "Hey, do something about this," and they've already got the solution already. Because they want to go here. Mm-hmm. They're here right now, but they want to go here. But they can't get here without popular support.
Right.
So yeah, it's the oldest trick in the fucking book,
Yeah.
and we fall for it. It's like
Creating a need.
I did this every time. It's like fucking Charlie Brown and the football. Every time these fucking people are like, "Oh, no, how about you just
Remember
let me?"
Wolf of Wall Street?
Yes.
Sign your name there.
What's that? Need a pen? Yeah. Yeah. No, exactly right. Sell me this pen.
Yeah.
Right. Sell me this pen. No, it's the same concept. They create this need, and if you really think about it, what has been the motivating factor behind everything they create? What emotion is behind? It's fear. 9/11, fear. The financial crash, fear. Right? Healthcare, fear. Right? You're sick.
And do you think they use the media? Or do you think?
Oh no,
knows what's going on?
the media is not media. They are paid players. They are in the cabal. They're the
So the higher ups of the media know, and the sheep are just the.
They're the ones that don't want to lose their job. That's just why we
They're
talk.
just saying what's on the teleprompter and going.
Yeah, there's no journalism anymore.
Oh, no.
Journalism. I mean, journalism. I guess.
My 9-year-old could do journalism. Just read from the AP.
No, I know exactly right. Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, learn your ABCs and just then you go become a reporter. Okay, I can just Let me just.
You're a journalist.
Yeah, you're exactly right.
I feel sorry for those people.
Well, I don't know if I feel sorry for them or not, just with respect, because if you're not.
Well, just the little people that are just
Well,
doing the Saturday, reading the Saturday news off the teleprompter. It's like, God, you're getting paid how much to do this, and it's all vomit. It's all propaganda.
No, all of it.
It's all just crap.
Yep.
It's like there's so much news out here, and you guys aren't reporting any of it.
Yeah. Well, see, that comes down to the individual. Do they feel? How do they feel? I wonder.
They feel like they've spent 4 years in college and they got $100,000 in debt. They're going to sign up for that job.
Yeah, I mean,
I would like a journalism degree.
I would like to think that I wouldn't do it. But I'm who. But see, I have morals and I have convictions. My convictions are strong. I will do what I need to do to get what I need done. I'm not gonna sell myself out at all.
How are you going to sell your bike? I'll take it.
No, actually, that thing's finally paid off. After 28 years, I'm just kidding.
The Indian's been paid off.
No, it's been paid off for a long time. Yeah, it's actually at the shop. It's getting a new starter on it. But yeah, it's but I don't know where because it's these old age questions. What are you willing to stand up for? Beyond that, what are you willing to die for? People, I'll die for my kids and blah blah blah. Well, motherfucker, evidently you're sitting on your ass right now. Guess what's happening to your fucking kids? Guess what's coming next? And I don't see you doing anything about it. Don't tell me you'll die for your fucking kids because you're not doing shit. I get so tired of these holier than thou granola.
And you're so passionate about this because you just want to be the messenger to let everybody in on this.
Yeah, well, see, I always ask, what can I do more? Am I willing to go grab a gun and get to the streets? I guess if it comes to that, I don't. It hasn't come to that, right? But there's only so much we can do as a single person or as an individual. It's when we get the collective people that can all kind of start moving.
You don't think there's a line in the sand that we're just everybody's gonna rise up one day when it just gets too nutty?
Well,
or that's indeterminable.
I want to go indeterminable because I thought when I was screaming when this stupid plan did, my dad died of COVID. Okay, so for people out there, you don't know anybody that's ever been in, but my dad died. All right,
Dan Giles.
And Dan died. I know about 5 or 6 people, right? Yeah, and my dad being one of them. And I was still calling it a plandemic because they did this on purpose because they had a goal. What is in this thing? People, what's in it? Do we know? I know. Got sent something from an Air Force colonel. I know exactly what's in it, and I knew this. I knew instinctively when all this shit came out. Graphene oxide, 5G, all this stuff is hooked up to graphene oxide that's in your system. Why do you need to get a booster? You know what I'm saying? So, when's the last?
You need to get a booster every 6 months because it falls off.
Well, no, because once they flip that 5G, it's going to do something to you.
Are they not on 5G yet?
No, I mean, the 5G is 1% of where they want to be. They're starting. You hear like 5G. It's not. I mean, the 5G towers are, and that's 5G is horrible with respect to your health anyway. But it does affect what that graphene oxide is in your body. And so when it comes, people. I mean, I don't know if people. What the worst case they turn into zombies, or best case is they just get sick and then, or the middle case is they die. I don't know where that line of demarcation is with respect to getting this in your body, and then what happens to you once they flip the switch.
Hey, do you know why my mic doesn't work?
Did you you get the switch on top right?
Are you kidding?
There you go.
Oh, yeah.
There I am.
Yeah.
I'm
Just
sorry.
Just needs a little power.
Been very quiet over here. This is a good conversation.
It is. Jump in. What do you think?
I'm here. I'm Matt.
That's the man.
Hi, Matt. Hey, it's Spam Risk. I wonder how he's doing.
Oh
today.
man, those have been coming in every day.
Coming in hot.
Yeah.
Man, okay. Well, I wanted to go back to like where I think you're 100% right when you said it started with 9/11. I think when 9/11 happened, I think whoever powers it be was like, everybody's about to have these devices. Cell phones were coming in hot, and they were getting more affordable, and they were talking to the tech companies developing them, and they realized that everything in those phones can be traced and tracked and recorded, and so they wanted a way to have a backdoor basically and record all that. I mean, they built out the biggest infrastructure for all that after 9/11, and I think that was the main goal for that and going over and securing more oil stuff for whenever they're to do that. But with today's pandemic, man, like
Did you say plandemic?
Yeah, plandemic. I think I think what happened, I mean, this is my narrative with it, is like something between Trump, because he's a nationalist. He was like, we're trying to not do as much business with China because we see what you're doing. China's like, I mean, if you go on Alibaba, I mean, they have everything you want over there is in China.
Yeah.
They produce everything.
Yeah.
You can't in America, it's very limited with what you can do because there's so many laws. So let's say I wanted to manufacture a car. I want to buy a 3D printer and start manufacturing my own car. There's all these limitations on that.
Mm-hmm.
In China, they don't have those limitations. So you have all these independent companies creating some amazing things because they don't have all these limitations. So if you wanted an e-vehicle, you're very limited on what you can buy here in America. Yes, you can import those things, but they're at a huge price hike. Not hike, but you have to pay for, shipping and all the taxes that go along with that and containers and stuff. But I'm just saying that America is like going, I don't think we can allow that because we need to like protect our business prospects here and across the globe. So I think they wanted to shut that down with China. China didn't like that and says, well, if you don't do more business with us because we're about to expand, I think China's about to expand into Africa because that's the next like that's the next like low income economic structure that China was built off of, and now
It's like
they're
untapped.
There's a lot of cheap labor in there.
exact cheap labor. I call them cheap labor conservatives.
Yeah.
And so that's what it is, and they're going after that next, and America knows that, and they're like, I think there's about to be a race for all that stuff over there. But but anyway, I'm going to go back to your crypto stuff too, and kind of apply the economics. Like, if we're going to Mars, we're about to be an interplanetary species. We need a currency to support a system that can be interplanetary, that can be instant transfer rather than going through all these different systems. So the tokenization is actually a brilliant way to have
control.
Well, if a business wanted to keep their economics within their structure, it's actually a pretty smart idea because gamers are already doing this. Gamers especially are utilizing
and
it.
all that stuff. Yeah.
Well, outside of NFTs, like you play a game right now that's 5 years old, and there's a lot of like controversy, like, oh, they're deploying these Vegas style gaming structures where it's like a mystery box, and kids are like, oh, I really want to know what's in that mystery box, so they'll buy 10 mystery boxes to try to get the skin. But you have to buy these tokens to get them,
Yeah.
So there's a legal loophole that gamers have been exploiting for, I don't know, over a decade now. And so that's kind of where tokenization has come from, is in a sense of that. But Bitcoin is trying to be more free. There's from what I understand is like it's sold as trying to be non-centralized units. So
yeah, they're trying to decentralize all of this stuff.
Yeah.
But here's the elephant in the room. It doesn't matter what we do at all. The governments can come in and wipe everything out when they want to.
Yeah.
I mean, all of this stuff of the
when
they
the government-
can,
you're talking about
but
their legalized-
they can't stop Bitcoin.
well, but they can though.
No, how?
Well, no. Okay, let me back up here. So they could find out where all these servers are if they wanted to. If they
No, that doesn't work like that.
because the blockchain, because they're all on
No,
different servers.
it's computer to computer. So
Okay.
you know why Pirate Bay is always here? It's always around. It's because a computer verifies it by another computer.
Mm-hmm.
And if you have the entire world verifying it, how are you going to scrub the entire world of computers like that? That's the problem.
Yeah.
So the developer of Bitcoin unleashed like a whole new system. And that's why everybody's excited about it, because
people say that Natoshi guy is actually China.
well, that's what the conspiracy is, but he's not. He's American.
Is he? Is he? Because yeah.
I wish my friend Jace was here because he has a better understanding of all this, and and him and I talk about it. He just moved back to Oklahoma, and we're restructuring my business for Bitcoin in a way, in Web 3.0.
Well, that's the way everything's going. It's all, that's the dollar. This cash.
Yeah.
It's worthless. It's going to be worthless.
I mean, it's not, but it's the American. I don't know how, but yes, you're right. It's susceptible to inflation.
yeah, well, no, it's going to zero, guys. This if you guys don't know about the Weimar Republic, we're doing the same thing as the Weimar Republic. This is post World War I Germany.
Yeah.
Okay.
I do.
They're modeling it right after that. The dollar is going away because they have to create a crisis. Got to create a crisis because oh my God, the dollars, this fiat money is not working anymore. So we got to push everybody to digital currency, right? And why? Because how much power do you take out of somebody's hand if you have cash? If you take that cash out and you have to go through a system and where they can track everything. Then because Bitcoin that's out there for how much you just spent, where it went to, what other server it went to, so everybody knows how much power does that take. So that's why they're taking all the fiat money, all this paper money, and all the coin. It's gone within the next 5 years at least, because they have to circling back to the New World Order and the globalist agenda and the Satan. Because what is it? Revelations 13: no man can buy or sell. Right? Well, how does that happen? Well, you can't do it with cash. If you have cash in your hand, I can go buy and sell anything I want to. So they've got to push everything to where you can be tracked. So they have to bring in the one world government first, then they'll bring in the one world religion. So yeah, but digital currency is the way everything's going now. We can always debate whether or not it's trackable or if you can stop it. But the governments, they will know everything that they already, like this stupid phone you just mentioned a few minutes ago. They know everything. Everything. Mm-hmm. What's that old movie called Sneakers? It was 1992. It's called Sneakers. Have you ever seen it?
Mm-hmm. It's a hacker movie.
Yeah, it's a good movie. Yeah. It's with River Phoenix before he died. A couple other guys in it. Anyway, it's about this box that you would plug in a computer and it would decrypt anything. Basically, it was no more secrets. Yeah, it's right out of that movie. There's no more secrets. You won't be able to get away with anything moving forward in this new world order system. Now, whether you believe in the devil or not, or God, it doesn't matter. You have to remember the people that are steering this fucking train, they're going to this one world government. Now, if Satan's at the end of this little rainbow that they're going to, great. I mean, I believe he's there. You believe he's there. I'm not sure what your beliefs are, but once we get down there, if he's not there, it doesn't matter. Right now we're being controlled. We're being manipulated and controlled by this new world order system to get us under more control.
Well, I kind of agree with that, but I also don't, because this technology that's coming out, which is called blockchain, I mean, to me, it's an organization. It's the next level of organization. Mm-hmm. So when you say Bitcoin is recorded within blockchain. Do you guys understand blockchain at all?
Yeah. Yes. I'm going to put it at about 20%.
So
knowledge.
About zero.
Blockchain's like a ledger or a log.
Yeah, it's a ledger, right? Yeah.
And so it's like you create, let's say, here, this is my guess on why blockchain is going to be important. Right now, it's utilized in NFTs and Bitcoin, and you can see the history of what you're talking about. But in the future, you're going to be able to record everything. So energy in the future is going to be more of the currency, not like an actual currency. Mm-hmm. So you are right when you're talking about a shift. This is my conspiracy, is like currency will be energy in the future. It's like, how much energy will it take to manufacture something? How much energy will it take to record something or process something or hold that data or process that data or transfer that data? Does that make sense?
Yeah, because to your point there, I saw something come across, I don't know where I was. This guy started a company, he went to Malaysia where he didn't have a lot of regulations. He has 300 servers or something, and he's mining maybe Bitcoin or something, but they talked about energy, how much energy all those things take. So I can see, and then who controls the energy?
Well, that's my point. It's right. Like they know energy is going to be liberated later. Like, you're going to be able to put solar panels in a battery in your home. It's already happening. And you're going to be able to produce your own energy. And so other countries are already doing this. Like, a lot of people are already doing this. America's
Mm-hmm.
just really late to the game because of our very, very wealthy individuals that like to make their own rules here
Yeah.
in America. So,
Aren't they charging for wind and oxygen in California? Is
So,
it wind or
I don't know about
Water.
what California, they definitely, like, California has water issues and
they're talking about when you exhale
CO2.
CO2, they're charging you for that.
oh, carbon tax.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure that'll happen eventually.
Well, they're doing it in California, I think. it
That
seems like.
is if we continue the path that we're going towards.
Well,
So-
guys, this is all sustainable development. Okay, use their trigger words: sustainable development, Agenda 20,
Agenda 21.
Agenda 21.
I've been
and-
trying to think of that, and that's
Yeah.
something I've been wanting to show my friend.
Agenda 21 and Agenda 30. So a little history here. So the Berlin Wall came down. This is to 9/11 here. The Berlin Wall came down on November 9th, 1989. And what is November 9th in numerology? 11/9, right? So Berlin Wall falls on 11/9. 10 months later, which is completeness in Luciferian numerology and gematria, 10 months later, George Bush the dad, manifestation magic. So in occultism, they use manifestation magic, lesser magic, and chaos magic. Chaos. Go ahead.
Are you a Christian?
Do I believe in God? Yes.
Well, that's fine.
Yeah. Well, see,
Yeah.
I get the question all the time. I believe there's God and I believe there's Yeshua. Yahweh and Yeshua. Yes.
Yeah.
I don't. Religion is a man-made social construct. Okay. Religion came about with the Catholics and to control. It has nothing to do. I don't need a preacher telling me how I need to, have my relationship with Yahweh. Right. So yeah, Christian. If you want to put me in a box, I guess throw me in that box.
Yeah,
I'm not-
respect. I respect that. That's
Yeah.
good that you have. I mean,
Where does Jesus sit in this? Or is he?
yeah, like what? But like, if you
What are
don't
your thoughts?
believe in Satan or
No, I.
Jesus, do you believe in that?
Oh,
Or
totally.
Do you,
Yeah,
okay.
there is a God, there is a devil. We are going to heaven or we're going to hell. Right, yeah. So that I do believe in. Yeah, I'm not agnostic or atheist. No, I believe that they're
Do you
intelligent.
believe how the Bible tells you to get to heaven and hell?
What do you mean? How does it?
There's a way.
Well, yeah, through
go.
Yeshua's blood and accepting him as the Savior, and that's the only way you can get is if you accept Yeshua as your Savior. Correct. So yes, I believe in all of that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you believe Jesus is the only way to heaven, then yeah, you're a Christian.
Well, but see, Christian was a term that Christian was a term that really doesn't mean what it means. It came about in the 3rd century. Christ, Christian. I mean, I get all the semantics about it, but the etymology is not what you think it is. But that's a whole different subject. But yeah, so there is a God, there's a devil, and we're going someplace at some point, right? But what was I talking about to bring us to that?
Something about 21 and 30.
Oh, Agenda 21, Agenda 30. Thank you. So the Berlin Wall fell on 11/9, right? Which is 11/9, and then 10 months later, occultism. George Bush the dad gave his New World Order speech. So that was manifestation magic. He gave it twice, once in front of Congress at the State of the Union, once at the White House. Talks about a New World Order, and we will be. You've seen that speech. That's called manifestation magic. So Berlin Wall falls. 10 months later, manifestation magic, New World Order. Then 11 months later, it was Agenda 21 was ratified. So all these things are done on certain dates in their world because it's a whole.
So Bush was in on it.
Oh, the Bushes,
Reagan's were in on it.
Reagan, all of them, Trump, all of them. This Republican Democrats.
Do you believe in manifestation magic?
Oh, totally.
Do you practice?
Oh, hell no.
Wait, why not?
No, I don't deal in occultism. No,
But why do you have a stack of cash in your pocket right now?
because it's the only way I can pay my bills.
Buying my cocaine.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, I'm just saying, like, later today you have a plan, right?
Uh-huh.
You're about to manifest something new in your life,
Well,
right?
it's already manifested.
Right.
I didn't manifest it. It's already there. So manifestation magic is me speaking
that
something.
928.
Okay. So the 928's already there. It's already been.
Stating your intentions, right?
What's that?
Stating your intentions.
Correct. But that's not occultism. That's
But
different.
it's the same kind of practice. This hasn't happened yet, and you're stating something that you're planning on doing, and then you do
Right.
the things that you need to do to accomplish that.
Correct, but I'm not making it
That's
happen.
manifestation.
No, it's not. But I'm not making. No, I'm not making it happen. No, it's that you're totally incorrect. I am not speaking it into existence.
Okay,
It
well
already
then,
exists.
I'll tell you what. Why don't you don't buy that car today?
Okay.
Just say, I've got this cash.
Mm-hmm.
I'm putting out there to the world that if someone comes and brings me a car, I'll accidentally drop off some cash into their hand. then you're not manifesting. It's just happening. You know, it's just happening.
Yeah. Well,
otherwise, you're going
Is
to
there-
the person
like,
and you're doing
between
the accomplished
difference
things.
between happening to something and then something happening to you.
Yeah, there's a big difference.
Yeah. So manifestation magic is George Bush talking about the New World Order.
Yes.
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 So he manifested that. Okay, because they have to. The rules were not set up on this earth for. It's the universal law. God did not set up this planet or this earth, I should say, for us not to know what the other side is doing. That's why everything is hidden in plain sight. Everything is hidden in plain sight. Everything. So.
I watched They Live the other day.
I love that movie.
Which
I
one?
love that
They
movie.
Live.
Huh? Oh, yeah. No, exactly. Yeah.
A lot of the movies from the 80s and 90s, when you think about reality now, it's like, man, they had something back then. It was like almost.
Well, the Fringe directors had something.
What's that? Oh, Fringe. I haven't
Yeah,
seen that.
well, not Fringe direct, like the directors that had a different point of
Oh,
view
yeah.
besides mainstream media.
John Carpenter.
So, yeah, John Carpenter. Yeah.
And then The Matrix, of course, and some of these, I can't remember the other movies, but I've watched.
The
I got it
Matrix is
loaded.
not a movie. It's a documentary.
Okay, there you go.
Have you seen the new one?
I have.
Did you like it?
I did like it.
I liked it too.
Yeah, I liked it. Yeah, it was the first three were great, of course, and I liked how it was good. It was
Yeah.
It wasn't disappointed at all. Yeah,
I wasn't.
yeah.
What was your main take on it? Like, let's boil that down real quick.
They can make another one. How they ended it.
I think they're gonna do that.
I think they should.
I think they should.
Where did it leave off? So I mean, how? Okay, so they kind of wrapped it up. Neo's. We found out that, of course, Trinity had the power too. Evidently, he lost his to a certain extent, I guess, because he couldn't fly. So that last scene where they're hanging and he's there. What was the underlying message in that? Right? Women are powerful.
Yeah.
Do you think they went PC on this movie?
They weren't too PC. I didn't notice anything
No.
A
with big
bunch of
PC.
Asians and
No.
a bunch of Mexicans.
Well, I mean, the whole
Like,
time it was just Neo. Neo got woken back up,
Uh-huh.
and so it's like, okay, you can call that enlightenment or an ascension,
Right.
Okay, and then you've got Trinity still stuck in the system, and he's like, I know she would try to do the same for me, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So
He had a choice.
Yeah.
He had a choice.
So to me, it's like if you have a partner and you've been ascended, which is going on right now, you're going to try to take your partner with you. You
Right.
know, does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people right now are questioning their realities. I mean, if you guys get on TikTok, which I highly recommend you doing, I know it's a Chinese thing, but you're going to see the conversation happen because you can get on Reddit, but Reddit is like so diluted now. It's not as good.
Yeah.
And you're seeing the actual person present themselves as themselves. And then there's a big conversation about ascension right now. I think Matrix is feeding that.
Okay.
I think Matrix was a big opening, a door opening for a lot of people because I've never, in the last, I'm just going to say since 99 when the Matrix came out, in the last 3 years, I've never heard the term Matrix run around like I have now in my life. And I'm very close to the Matrix and I'm very close to that narrative. I went to the theater when it first came out and there was nobody in that theater. Nobody knew about that film. Nobody gave a shit about that film. when
Oh,
it
I
came out.
know. In
I didn't
99?
know about
Yeah.
it
They
until it
didn't
came
know.
on video.
It was a week. No, it was like a week later. Like after like
It
a
came out-
handful of people were like, "You should probably go see this movie. It's pretty amazing."
Was it
you know?
Christmas? Okay, or did it come out in the spring, summer?
It was like I
Because
think
they
it was like late summer. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was summer, and then they had them all pretty fat, and there was 2 years for the third one. You know, to your question about what is the new one about, the arching thing that I saw is that love is very powerful. I mean, if you want to break it down to its emotional, but the esoteric side of it, what messages, what reality are in? Because you hear a lot about the Mandela effect, when
Yeah. Talked to my parents about that at Christmas.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. They were like, "What?" And I was
Yeah.
like, "Is there any time in your life that you swear you knew something up and down, but it wasn't the truth. That
Right.
wasn't the reality.
And I think the Mandela effect is just a sideshow to keep everybody busy. And it, from my opinion, is that it's a sideshow. It's really nothing there. And you can sum up the Mandela effect in one sentence: is that we don't remember things we're not as smart as we think we are. We don't remember things like we thought we did.
Yeah, but like on a mass scale, that's the question about the Mandela effect. Is like
Yeah.
it's people questioning reality on a mass scale, going, "Wait, I swear it was this."
Well, but that's called the law of suggestion too, right? So we're in a group here, and we see, because the one that pops in mind is Lucy, whatever the Lucy one is, that everybody thought he said this, but he didn't say this. Going to be a problem, Lucy. What was it?
You got some explaining to do.
Explain to do. That's exactly what it was. Yes, and it was. He never said that. It was something else. And I thought, well, but that's how things happen. It starts with what it really is, and then somebody maybe said it like this, and then it just kind of spreads. To me, it's not that. It's no more hard to explain than that. So yeah.
I mean, I think it's an interesting concept because, as someone who edits video a lot and narrative a lot and can like have a little mess up, and then that like explains deja vu, but also like if this narrative is spliced in any kind of way, in a metaphysical way, and it changes our narrative. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
so,
right.
So
yeah.
like today,
And
after
then what
this
becomes
podcast,
reality, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden there's like, but there may be some missing link that's back in our history that we're remembering. That's like, oh wait, but based off what I remember, but it's happening on a mass scale. Some sort of celestial or interdimensional narrative shift has happened presently. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but see, then it kind of, but in that same pond, I think it's just people's memories aren't what they think it is. But you're thinking, how can it happen on a grand scale, right? It's like, how does that happen? It's just suggestibility from my perspective.
Yeah, but like Berenstain Bears, like that's such a stupid
that
thing.
Yeah, and then what it was.
That's one, and it's just such a stupid thing. But like, as you think you would realize how it's spelled, it's not how it's spelled.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I swear, as a child, when I looked at that book, that's what it was.
Right.
It just seems trivial,
Yeah.
I'm like saying, okay, well then that's just a manipulated task, and I don't know.
Yeah, there's the Lucy one, the Berenstain Bears, and there's one other kind of big one too that I was like, wait, did I? Yeah. I mean, it gives you pause.
Yeah.
But yeah. So.
Okay. I want to go back to Agenda 21.
Yeah. So let's.
I got a thing with that too.
Yeah. So manifestation magic. So they have to tell us what they're doing. New World Order, right? So New World Order happens in Agenda 21 ratified, right? All this stuff is done on numerology, gematria, ley lines, and speaking of, everyone was down in the Antarctic. You guys hear about that? Like a few weeks ago, a month ago?
Mm-mm.
All the leaders.
Down or up?
Well, they're over. I say down because it's.
Oh yeah, the world's flat.
Yeah. So you go south, whatever. But all the so there was the big eclipse that we had a few weeks ago, and all the leaders were down there at the Antarctic. That's whole.
Oh, I did. I remember briefly, like, somebody was asking on TikTok, like, why are the leaders planning this trip?
Yeah.
And I'm like,
well, because they're Satanists, and they're down there They're doing their.
Not
spells.
everybody can go. You have to apply to go to Antarctica.
Oh no, but the people that don't have to apply are the world leaders.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of like a fuck you to the world, going
Big time.
like, it's like, well, we can do this.
Let them eat cake.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
yeah. So George Bush manifestation magic. Then the Agenda 21 ratified, right? And then 11 years later, after the New World Order speech, 11 years later, which is a master number in numerology, what happens? 9/11. So we have 11/9, November 9th, 11/9, right? Berlin Wall comes down. That was the rebirth of the New World Order. Was the rebirth of the New World Order, the Berlin Wall coming down. When that came down, the rebirth, then George Bush, New World Order speech, ratified 21, and then 11 years later, bingo, we're at 9/11 with all the stuff that the engine of the New World Order being turned on with all the control. Now, for those that don't believe in the New World Order, but whatever that 9/11 was, one thing we did get out is a bunch of control mechanisms. National Defense Authorization Act, as I said earlier, TSA, NSA, Jade Helm, Patriot Act, And then George Bush had to be the most unluckiest president to ever serve because guess what happened on his way out of the office? He had the financial crash. Oh my gosh, what a poor guy. I mean, what the most unlucky bastard that ever. No, all this shit is planned, folks. do not.
I don't know if the financial crash was planned.
Oh, it was. Yeah.
I don't know about that. That seems like a miscalculation by a lot of different people.
Don't listen to the narrative. I'm in finance. I do mortgages. They gave this stupid pie in the sky. It was about redlining, right? This redlining, basically not giving loans to people in urban areas. This shit came with Jimmy Carter started this in 1978.
Oh yeah.
And then Reagan.
So do you think he planned that? He was like, okay, I'm going to start this and allow people to do this until it crashes.
I thought Clinton started this.
No,
Clinton's the one that.
I'm gonna tell you this history. I'll give you the history right now.
I was in the middle of all this.
Yeah. No, I'll give you the history right now. It was a Jimmy Carter deal. Ronald Reagan had killed it. And then Bill Clinton brings it about in 1998 or 99 before he
I thought
left.
It was like 92, 93.
No, it's 98.
Okay, he did it before he left. Okay.
Yeah, he did it before he left. And then George Bush gets, so they're all on the same team. George Bush gets office, and then he keeps it going because they needed to set it up, because they needed to crash the system, because they knew 9/11 was coming. They knew 9/11 was in, so they knew they planned 9/11. Then they planned the crash because they had to first get your sovereignty. You know, you can't do this. You can't walk across the street now with this especially. But then they had to get your banking rights. See, they had to get it all. They got it all under George Bush. They got us country to country. Then they got our banking rights. So it was planned.
Matt, do you know what they were doing all through the early 2000s and mid 2000s with that banking scandal?
I mean, from my understanding, is they're loaning out all these big loans to get homes or whatever, and they're basically selling the debt, but they're doing that with people who couldn't afford to pay those things.
Yeah, they lowered all the standards.
Yeah, they lowered the standards.
Yeah.
So I started buying houses in
stated income, stated
I
asset.
had, oh my God. Well, I bought 11 houses,
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't have a job.
Yeah. So let me tell you how
Like $2 million, 11 houses, big $500,000 house, 300,000.
Do you have any of those homes anymore? No?
Lost them all. Lost and sold.
Really?
Short sale, foreclosed,
Wow.
all gone.
So do you think it was just a quick rush for money from whatever they can pull?
well, we have
My understanding was they were doing this to let just everybody who wanted to buy a house could
Try
buy
to
a
get
house,
one?
because
Yeah.
you could.
because they
And
needed to crash.
a lot of
they
mortgage-
needed to crash it.
bad mortgage brokers went to prison. The guy that I was using went to jail for 3 years.
Did he really?
Yeah,
No shit.
I had to go testify
Whoa.
on my loans because
I remember that.
I was getting I got kickbacks from
Yeah.
several builders just for buying houses. They're like, we'll give you 20, 30 grand. And he would just ask for my documents. I'd give him documents, and then he would take those documents and just change whatever he needed to change, send it all in, and they just close. And he's like, I'll just make your first 3 payments, make sure.
Wow.
Yeah, stated income, stated assets. But the reason why they did all this is because they needed to crash the system. They needed to cause a crisis so they could bring in the new laws.
More
It's the
structure.
same- yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah, it's a plan. It was planned. So, but the back of it was, so to tell you how this all started, it's called redlining. So they made the stated income, stated asset. If you had a job, if you had whatever it was, you could say, I make this much money.
Yeah.
And so they did that so they could, and the financial crash wasn't as bad as it's never as bad as they say. Okay,
Why don't they just implement? Why don't they just talk to the public and be like, hey, we need it. These are the holes. We don't want these holes, and tell them the truth. Like, why don't people do that?
Well, they can because when people see what they're doing, because once everything is implemented, they go, oh my God, we didn't know that was going to happen, right? What was that? Pelosi, because I'm off the Democrat Republican thing. I've been off that for decades now. But Pelosi was going, you got to pass the bill before we know what's in it. And when she said that, I'll go, what the are you? You're kidding, right? That was a joke because you're supposed to know what's in it, so you know what you're going to do to the people before you go ahead and pass it and make it law.
Yeah, that's
I remember them talking
That's
about
shady.
it. I've hung out with several of the mortgage brokers and appraisers. Appraisers went to jail. You remember that? A lot of them. They were just throwing amounts on stuff.
I won't.
You could say, hey, what's justifying me buying $2 million in property? I didn't have a job.
So why did you feel comfortable to do that? Like, what made you go?
Because these guys were polished. and I was green. I was out on my own, and they were like,
No, it's okay.
I already had 2 or 3 houses.
Were you just going to rent them? Were you going to start a business
That's
with
my
it?
problem. I didn't have a plan. I had an exit strategy.
You just did it.
I was just doing. He's like, yeah, you can buy this house. They're loaning money. They've got this
I
money.
wish I was a part of that generation.
And I owned a few friends of mine owned property in the plaza, and we were just dumping it $13,000 for a house that was just run down, $30,000, and yeah, I mean, I tell my kids now, if I still would have had those houses that I just had in 08,
yeah,
I could sell them and I'd be net $1 million.
yeah.
Because
You'd be doing very well, especially in the Plaza District.
Yeah. Oh man, property house. Yeah.
And it was just candy. We would go get in his car and we'd go to some guy's house in Ski Island across the street here, and he had just stuff laying around. He was like, oh, he's going to get your loan done.
Yeah.
So he's just doing documents, asking me questions, 2-3 hours, and I leave, and it's like they just give me a closing date.
Yeah.
I'm like,
well, that's when I got it. That's when I started in
my
mortgages.
job was buying houses. That was my job. And I'd
Yeah.
find somebody. I bought a house down in Heritage Hills
Yeah.
for $632,000. It was a big, giant mansion. No plan. It was run down.
No, I remember when because I was in the midst of I was before I had to be. I mean, I was doing it by 6 years by that time.
I bought a house in Guthrie.
Yeah.
I bought a house on the east side. I bought a house wherever they were just offering me houses. Because it was a little clique of people, In each little business, you've got a clique.
Yeah.
And your man went to
no.
jail. I won't mention any names, but
Oh,
there's
yeah.
an appraiser that we used all the time.
The Oak Tree deal, Oak Tree appraiser.
No.
Oh, this house is worth $500. It's worth
$300. We get this appraisal back, and I had to go out to this guy's house to have him sign something. I was with Uli at the time. We're driving around, got the address, and looking at the appraisal and pictures. And look at the house, look at the pictures. Go, this isn't the house. Is this the right address? And sure enough, it was
bananas.
A totally different house that this guy took pictures of. It was crazy. Oh, I know. It was. I mean, there was a lot. I mean,
it was so
I'm
fun.
not saying there wasn't a lot of fraud, but it wasn't as big as they just needed. All they need is a little pinprick to get everything.
To everything going.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
I can see that. I can
Yeah.
see that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like going back to Agenda 21.
Go ahead.
Is that cool, Kurt?
Yep.
All right.
Go.
All right. So like I learned about Agenda 21 through this thing called Zeitgeist back in probably around 2008.
Okay.
Did you guys ever watch Zeitgeist? It was like a YouTube sensation.
No, I know what Zeitgeist means. It's
Right.
about but yeah, I didn't know there was a show.
There's a documentary about. I mean, it like digs into 9/11, digs into Christianity, it digs into I don't know, all these different types of things, and it woke my ass up. I was reading this other thing called Adbusters. Have you heard of Adbusters? Adbusters caused the what was it, when everybody went to New York at the financial district and picketed for a long time?
Yeah.
Occupy Wall Street.
Occupy Wall Street. So there's a magazine that started that movement, and I was reading that heavily. So I was graduating college and I was coming into my own thoughts at that time, and Zeitgeist and that magazine really opened the doors to reality, I would say, in a way. And I mean, I would say it's not more reality, it's just more mixed information, because it's the information so chaotic and scattered and not organized, because you have a reality that's presented to you, and then you've got all this everybody's opinions on real reality. And so I was coming in about 2010, I was like going through a breakup, also coming out as an artist and doing all these things, and it really blew my mind. But I was doing a lot of research, and Agenda 21 came up on my research, and so did the Georgia Guidestones. The Georgia Guidestones are interesting.
The first commandment on it. That's where we're headed right now with this.
See, I mean, I agree with the Georgia Guidestones. Like, do you want your kids to grow up in a world where they have to wait in line to go inside a national park?
I say
Seriously, think about this.
I have. I say let me live my life and don't worry about what I'm doing.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
you're gonna, like, the more people on this planet, if we go to 11 billion, that's not much of a life.
But see, I disagree. I disagree because who knows? Number one, because what you're doing is you're listening to the narrative about how populated we are. Bill Gates says we're almost at 9 billion and blah blah blah. You know what I'm saying?
We do have like almost 9 billion.
Have you flown in planes before, right? Have you ever looked down at the earth when you're flying a plane and see how
where's
much
where's the country where you can't? Here in Oklahoma, where do you go to the country where there's nobody occupying Oklahoma? Where do you
what's
go?
that again? Oh.
Just in Oklahoma, where can you go where nobody occupies it?
Kingfisher, there's
no, it's occupied.
Well, you mean where there's
I've been
no
out
one?
there.
Well, you mean where there's no one?
Yeah.
But if you're but occupied out of what? How many square miles? You got 4 people?
You can fit
Yeah, but
everybody in the
still,
world in Oklahoma.
That's
Yeah.
still 4 people. Like I've been out to the country several times trying to find audio.
You just want to be by yourself with no one around.
I mean, there's some places you can go whenever you go to the closest, in my opinion, maybe in Texas. I haven't been in the panhandle of Texas much, but when you go into New Mexico, there's lots of stretches of little small roads that you can get out where there's 0 people, 0 light pollution, 0 sound pollution. There's some small places like that. But here in Oklahoma, that doesn't exist.
Yeah, Colorado.
Colorado
Utah.
doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Like, no, not even in Colorado. Like, you throw a mic anywhere, you can hear things. Like, I record audio in weird places all the time, and you can't get away from it. You just can't get away from it.
And that's a problem for you?
Well, that's a problem for the world. It's not a human problem. It's a ecological problem.
See, I disagree. So this is where we come back to a theological standpoint. God did not create us for us to breathe and be able to destroy the planet. God did not create us that we can destroy what we live on. You know what I'm saying? He's not.
But we can destroy this planet in a push of a button.
No, we can't.
With a nuclear bomb, you don't think we can?
Oh no, it'll bounce back. The Earth will always be here.
Well, it will be gone, but the Earth will.
Yeah, I mean, you can't. The Earth is going to be here no matter what. Now, if you're worried about yourself, then I mean,
no, I'm worried about the ecology more than us. No, we're fine. We're dominant species.
I don't think he's up in heaven wringing his hands, going, "Oh no, look what they're going to do."
Yeah.
No, he's not. He doesn't have any control over this. He just pushed the on button, and we're going.
Well, this is Satan's world. If you want to talk theological, this is.
I'm not talking theological when you call ecology theological.
Well, okay, I'm not worried about the planet. The planet, it will be I keep saying planet. The Earth will be the Earth, no matter if we're here or not.
So you don't care if it gets destroyed.
How? But destroyed how?
But
I don't believe in global warming.
No, I'm not asking you that. Do you care if it gets destroyed? Like if there was a nuclear war that broke out with China and America. Do you give a shit about that?
No, I don't, because we'll be gone if we are. If it's destroyed for like 20, 30, 40 years, that's not my problem. You see what I'm saying? I can't control what I can't control. So I don't worry about what I can't control. I can control what's in my own life.
Yeah, you can.
Realm, right?
Yeah.
No.
So like as a species, let's say you were a mega trillionaire.
Mm-hmm. Jeff Bezos.
Yeah, let's say you're Jeff Bezos, but you don't own Amazon. You have some different other company. Mm-hmm. Maybe it's like a company that contracts with the government and you're providing something into space or something
nuclear
like
warheads.
That. Yeah, nuclear warheads. That's perfect. But, you have a chance to control what you can control with your money.
Mm-hmm.
That means provide jobs or take away jobs or provide income or economics or relief or anything. Mm-hmm. Would you do stuff like that?
Well, totally. Yeah. I mean, if I have the means, I mean, I do it today. I mean, I hire people. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I mean,
so the people that are in power, whoever that is, and have the resources to do that and make the decisions.
But what about
do you think they want to care about the planet? If they did care about the planet, do you think they should take steps in trying to preserve it?
Well, but see, this is a red herring, because this is all about control. They want to think you can destroy this place we live so they can get control of your CO2. Okay, it's all about control.
Well, let's step away from that thought real quick.
Okay.
I'm just saying, I'm just trying to understand whether or not you would care about the future of your children and having a healthy lifestyle within the planet.
do I care if they have a healthy life? That's whatever they want to grow up to be. Let them be, right? I mean, yeah. So
right, but like, what if today you're not preserving the planet, so tomorrow there's a lot more issues?
But I don't believe. But see, that's where the line of demarcation is. I don't believe we're destroying the planet.
Well, I do.
We can't destroy the planet. God did not give us the means to destroy this huge leviathan that we live on. We're like little ants in Disneyland.
See, I disagree with you 100%. We're the biggest dominating species on this planet.
There is the best Matrix when Agent Smith is talking to Morpheus, and Morpheus is sitting in the chair, right? And he takes his thing out of his ear, and he's like, I don't even talk.
I've got to get out of here.
He goes, you know what it is with you humans? You guys are like a virus. You go and you spread, and I just feel it, taste it, and
I love that part. It's true.
It's not true, but
it's
I love
so
it.
true.
No, it's not.
How can you disagree? We're about to infect another planet. We're on Mars already with our machines. We're about to go live on Mars. We are spreading like a virus. How can you not see that?
Well, if the
human race we're destroying the planet.
We're about to go
Americans.
Consume whatever Mars has to provide. Do you get that?
No, but I don't believe in Mars. Number one. So no, I don't, because we live. No, we live in a.
That makes sense.
There's a firmament above us. God created a firmament. You can't get out of the firmament.
No, we're out, man. We're so out.
I pray that I could be wrong, because I would love to go to Mars.
But let's play those hypotheticals. Let's say you are wrong, and we're going to be on Mars.
Okay.
And your child signs up for a program here in 20 years.
Do I see a problem with us spreading our wings and moving on? Right? Is that?
No, I don't. I mean, we're going to be an interplanetary species. We're actually hitting a wall. We're like hitting this door. There's think of a humanity on a long steps, like a very
big trajectory.
Yeah, trajectory. And then there's a door in the middle of those steps. Now, scientists think that other things do you believe in aliens?
Demons.
Okay, demons.
Yeah.
Okay, so
aliens will be. There's going to be a fake alien invasion here in the next 2 or 3 years, and there are going to be demons. But yes.
I don't think there's going to be any kind of invasion ever, because in my opinion, unless it comes from another dimension, like if it comes in like Marvel verse kind of style, like where they come through a portal.
No aliens.
Well, hey, what do you think CERN's about?
To study black matter.
No, CERN they're opening portals over there. But yeah, they have Shiva. That's a whole different subject too. Yeah, I mean this is all occultism. But again, continue your point though. Yeah.
Well, my point is like we're going to be an interplanetary species already. We've got our workings on Mars, studying it. We're about to go into the moon. We're going to do whatever we do on the moon to have a base so we can launch to Mars and other planets. Like, what if your grandchild signs up for a program to go to Mars? Would you believe that if that happened?
Okay, so yeah, if all things are even and I believe in all this stuff, right? Yeah, would I believe what? That he would not go?
Your grandchild would be going to Mars. Do you have kids? You have kids, right?
Yeah, 2.
You have 2 kids. How old are they?
14 and 12. Oh, 15 and 13 now.
Yeah, so there's a chance that their kids could sign up for some program with Google or whoever's going into space to like go do stuff in Mars.
Okay.
In the future, and like you don't think that's a viable thing that could happen?
Well, let's say let me go with you and say yes, I agree. But I think your point is that we're like a cancer, right? So what you said, we're like a virus.
Yeah, we are spreading like that.
Okay.
So like just like a dog from another dog.
Are you pro or against that?
I'm pro that.
Okay.
I think we have no choice.
Oh, gotcha. Because we need because we're destroying where we live, so you got to get somewhere else.
No, that's not it.
No.
No, I think we can actually preserve what we have if we started now, but we're going to have a harder time doing it here in another 10 years.
You're a little younger. I'm 52. I heard this crap in the 70s. You know what was happening in the 70s?
Because it started in the 70s.
Well, but you know what all the scientists said way back then?
Because that study started in the 70s.
Well, I know, but do you know what they said back then? They said, watch out for the ice age. The ice age is coming. Right?
I don't know about that.
No, they did. Yeah. So in the 70s, it was ice age. We better care because the next ice age is coming. Then it evolved into global warming, Earth Day, April 1st or whatever day that is, April 21st. Then it went from to ice age to global warming. Now it's climate change. So they keep moving the goalposts because it's all BS. I've been hearing this crap since I was a kid. And the Ice Age thing, I brought this Ice Age thing in a group that I was talking to with some people. And I go, who remembers that? And a few people did. And I go, what happened to the Ice Age? Oh, they were wrong then. And now it's then they started into this climate change crap because they want to control. Because I'm breathing CO2, I'm killing the planet.
I mean, I think you're getting off on a lot of the stuff people use, yeah. But in reality, global warming is not. It's going to affect the world. Yeah, things are going to die off. The sea levels are going to rise. Cities are going to have to move. People are going to have to move. But that's not going to affect us.
Right. Well, see, the other problem I have with not problem, but the other thing the sea levels will not rise. This is science, and people always bring this up to me. I'm like, guys, it's science. Get a glass of water, put ice in it, right? Put ice in it, drop it in. The ice melts. The levels don't rise. It's the same because the mass and the volume.
It's not about that. You've got it wrong. So there's a lot of volume on land that's melting off of it. Does that make sense?
Oh, so you're talking about just the physical land.
Yeah, that's holding that ice. Yeah.
Oh,
so
I see
it's draining off into the water systems and then draining into the ocean.
Okay.
So you've got a lot of mass on the. I mean, go up there. You can go climb around Alaska.
The Bible
and
says
see
there's
it.
not going to be another flood.
I mean,
We just had one.
I don't know. There were a lot of floods back then that were very devastating.
Yeah,
so.
wasn't Oklahoma underwater at some point?
I think so. Yeah.
According to the the heliocentric model.
Yeah, you can go in Ponca. You can go to the very the dirt of that very old flooded system, and at the lake, they've got bedrock that's just littered with very, very old creatures, prehistoric. It's very cool.
Fossils and stuff.
Yeah, fossils and stuff.
Well, you believe in dinosaurs?
Do I believe in dinosaurs? Oh yeah,
Like millions of years or thousands?
millions of years ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
How the hell did T-Rex? How did the T-Rex mate?
I mean, do you guys ever see? Do you know what are those cats called? They have little tiny arms.
Gary Berland.
They're
That's what
very
I call
cute. They're very
No, I haven't
cute.
seen it.
They're called munchkin cats.
Oh no! The little squish face.
Yeah.
Oh, I think I've seen it. Yeah.
They're little tiny cats. But if evolution's seeing something that it doesn't need, why evolve it?
True. Let me ask you. So what about the evolution of us being a cancer? Shouldn't evolution just take care of this cancer? Human beings, right? I mean,
Cancer is different. Cancer's
no,
evolving
the virus.
itself.
Shouldn't evolution take care of the virus? I mean, why do you have to tax what I breathe out? Let's just let everything take care of itself.
I mean, I'm not against having natural selection happen. I'm not.
I'm all over natural selection. I don't want the government selecting what I need to select.
Yeah, I mean, but I'm for government implementing rules, but I'm not for companies that can pay for government to make the rules. That's my problem. I'm with the people if the people have control of the government, and that's why the world literally is looking at America right now what the fuck are they doing? Because, I mean, we've lost control, and you're 100% right with a lot of your stuff. We've lost that control, and it is corporate interests
there's no government anymore.
That are running our government because we've allowed money into politics, and we've allowed certain structures to come in and make their own rules. By rules, I mean laws and whatever else you
can do. Like you just said a few minutes ago. All the leaders are going down there. Yeah. No one else can. I mean, it's oh God, let them eat cake, And then what do we do? Right? That's why how we started kind of conversation. We're the good guys.
I mean, you look at the pyramid scheme of things. It's we're that. I mean, you guys are at the mid-tier level. You have potential. You still have 40 years of life left.
35.
Depends on how much catches up with it.
35 days.
Jim's got a few, maybe 5-10 years. I may have 20. I'll be stoked if I live to 70.
I mean, if you guys figured out a way to make some big moves and make some major cash quickly, you could be a player in the world very, very well. It's possible. It is possible.
Everything is possible.
Yeah. So it's not like you're far from that. And no, I mean nobody, like there's a lot of nobodies that are now players. Like you just Bezos was one. He was a nerdy bookseller. Zuckerberg was one. He was a kid in college, a very good college, but he manipulated some things and made some shit happen, and now he's probably the biggest player in people manipulations.
Amazon. I'd forgotten this, that they started out selling books, right? I mean, it was a book thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I totally forgot
It's
that.
the biggest bookseller on the planet.
Yeah, well, but now Amazon is everything else. I totally forgot they started out just doing books. Like, oh, fuck, man, think about that growth, and now they control the world.
Yeah.
I mean, Amazon, you get shit the next day. It's crazy.
I don't get any of this. I'm just a meathead.
Man.
I'm a knuckle dragger. I'm not understanding half the shit. I'm just like, I just want to buy a race car and go to work.
Yeah. Well, let me tell you. Let me tell you guys real quick about the this doesn't take long, about the Republicans and the Democrats and how you lose most of your freedoms under a Republican president. I save this for the end of my talk sometimes when I'm out, just jabbering and throwing out what I think I know, right, in front of these people. I'm like, hey, and so I go, so raise your hand in here if you guys know that you lose. And I save it to the end because some people walk out. I go, because you get them Trumpers up there, man. Don't you talk about my Trump, man. What shit. Oh, God, if you only knew. I said, so how many of you people know that you lose most of your freedoms under a Republican president? Nobody's hands go up at all. I go, well, let me explain. Let me just give you the short version is that Nixon took us off the gold standard Republican. Nixon took us off the gold standard, gave us the ability to write our own checks, right? So that then right after Nixon got in, it was Gerald Ford, because he got impeached, and Gerald Ford didn't do much, and then Jimmy Carter was after Ford. Jimmy Carter's a peanut man. Nothing happened under him, right? Except he did the.
He's still alive.
Oh, I know.
He's like 100.
It was called redlining. He started that one thing we talked about earlier. I'll remember the name of it. Something Act. But anyway, and so nothing happened in Jimmy Carter. Then Ronald Reagan. I was an '80s kid. Loved Reagan. Loved the '80s. Fucking loved the '80s.
The Clash.
Oh, dude. So Ronald Reagan gets in. He starts the war on drugs, right? You talk about freedoms being taken, and I was in California when 3 Strikes came out. 3 Strikes came out of the war on drugs. Mm-hmm. How many of our black and Mexican and whites and all our friends, our brethren, are in jail because of the war on drugs?
Still
a lot. And then also a lot of people don't know this. You may not know, but this I might knock your socks off with this one. 1986. You know what? Also Reagan did. He made it so the vaccine companies cannot be sued. Did you guys know that?
So that doesn't surprise me.
Yeah. So this is Reagan. Now, now, how did we start this conversation a couple minutes ago? You lose most of your freedoms under a Republican president. I want people to hear this and understand it. That Reagan did that. Then we got Clinton. Clinton didn't really do a lot. He actually they passed the. No, well, I mean they did in 1994. They did the what was it? The Welfare Act. They did that, which is totally against the Democrats. And then he got his dick sucked, and nothing really happened. He started the redlining thing again. That went into Bush, but nothing really major happened under Clinton. Right? Then George Bush, we talked about this earlier. What happened under George Bush? 2 major crises happened under George Bush. The 9/11, the financial crash.
Yeah.
Irrespective if we believe it was planned or not, those 2 things happened. Freedom's gone, right? Freedom. So we have Reagan, war on drugs, vaccine companies can't be sued. Nixon, Republican, took us off the gold standard. Then Bush, Patriot Act, NDA, all these freedoms. Then Obama gets in. He had that one thing, healthcare, a lot of ancillary things I talked about earlier, right? Yeah. You didn't see a lot of it because it wasn't in your face.
Right.
So Obama didn't have a lot either. So Bush, huge. And then the biggest cupcake gets in office, Trump. What does Trump do? He gives us warp speed. So now we have to
warp speed.
Right? So now we have to have this to keep our jobs. We have to have this.
That started off as a Trump thing, and then everybody was on board, and then when it switched over to Biden, it was like they swapped places, right?
No, well, but see,
all the people that Biden, the Biden supporters were like, we're not taking anything, no vaccine. And then when Biden pushed it, it's like, oh, we have to take the vaccine, and all the Trump people.
Well, but see, because if let's say Hillary was in office and she wanted to shut down America,
No, fuck Hillary. Let's not even talk about her.
Well, okay.
That's not even a reality.
I
So.
love her.
Yeah.
She's
Well,
amazing.
name your Democrat. Name your Democrat. Okay, but what I'm saying is that Trump shuts down what freedoms he shuts down America. Everybody's losing their job. What freedom?
Let me ask you this though. Let's go back. Like, why do you think they're taking these freedoms away?
Which freedoms though?
I don't know. Just all the things you just
it's
been
about
naming.
control.
Yeah. So why do
Yeah.
you think they're trying to control people?
It's because they're bringing in the New World Order.
Okay. So
Yeah.
what's the new world order? What's the new?
The New World Order is control. So yeah, the New World Order is everybody under one governmental system.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you don't want that.
No.
Okay.
No, because I want my autonomy. I want my freedoms to destroy the planet if I want to, or to save the planet if I want to. The thing is I got my own personal choice to do what I want to do.
Right.
I don't want to. Why should I have this thing? You get the vaccine you're getting in your arms with graphene oxide in it. But why should I have to get that to work? We
You
should
think
when it's not about your health.
The new world order is gonna, like, I don't know. I think if you're gonna be a person living a human experience on this planet, there's gonna be some responsibilities you're gonna have to hold on this planet. That's how I look at it.
Okay. But according to whose narrative, though? Who's making those rules? So the government's telling you, right? I mean, what's your litmus test?
But like, let's say you're making a product that's toxic, and you didn't do the proper testing.
Totally agree.
And you started dumping your toxic stuff, but your numbers are great. You're making a lot of money. You're selling a lot of product, and you've given a lot of jobs to a lot of people. But there's a certain thing that's happening that are affecting those same people that are working there because they're working around these toxic materials, and you didn't properly test them beforehand. Do you think those kinds of responsibilities are held to you?
100%.
So, but the government,
Aaron Brockovich comes to mind.
but the government comes in and says, "Oh, well, you need to have all these rules in place so you don't fuck shit up for your people and the people that are trying to make you money and that you're trying to make a product for."
Right.
Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I mean, if they're going to make it better, if I'm killing people,
Right.
Do I know I'm killing people? I mean, do I know I'm?
I mean, you probably do, because there's probably somebody bringing you these red flags saying we need to cover them up.
See, well, then there's the moral issue. See, that's an individual choice. Now that person
Right.
should go to jail.
Right, and I agree with that.
Yeah,
And there's been issues like that in like Arkansas, and I don't know, the people from Minnesota producing those pots and pans and stuff. And
Well, it was DDT back in the 70s or the 80s.
yeah,
I mean,
DDT was that's a good example of that.
Yeah.
But that didn't have any kind of human impact. At that time, they didn't know. It was all ecological impact that was affecting.
Okay, no, right. Now that I agree with.
Do you though? It
Oh, no,
sounds
I
like
do.
you don't.
No, I do. No, if I'm doing something, because I don't want, if I'm killing off, 25, 30 acres or whatever, and there's a way that I cannot not do it. If there's a way we can do it safely, totally agree.
Right.
Yeah.
So let's go back to some of the new rules that are in place, like the Patriot Act, for example. Okay, you've got all these people on cell phones, and
NSA tracking.
Yeah, NSA tracking and stuff. I mean, do you think cell phones should be tracked the way they should be, or
Too late for that, but no.
no?
Not at all.
But can you utilize cell phones as a weapon in any way?
I've thrown it at Kurt before.
Well, I mean, you can coordinate with a group of people, can't you?
Oh, well, you talk about like let's terrorist threat. I mean, you can coordinate anyway, really. But yeah.
Yeah, and you can do it. But my thought is like, if your intentions are good, why does it matter? I mean, that's the argument.
I mean, you can't legislate behavior.
I think they're talking about stepping stones.
And it's like
Slowly.
Well,
the Nazis, very slow.
Well, he's talking
No,
about
Nazis happened in a couple of years.
well,
Nazis were fast as fuck.
yeah.
And what they did.
He's talking about like I'm a terrorist and I talk to this terrorist and we can coordinate some type of thing. It's no, it doesn't matter. You can't legislate behavior. Here's the thing: gun laws are stupid, because if I want to kill you, I'm going to kill you. I don't need a gun. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, it's silly. So yeah. So your point I guess is that that they should be able to track what we're doing or not?
No, I think I mean I don't really care at this point. Like it's happening. I did care at one time. I was like, this is kind of shitty. But like then I thought about it. It's just like, well, I don't really have anything to hide. Even if I'm like buying LSD from somebody and I'm like, hey, can I get some LSD hits? Like, I don't care if the government knows that. Like, that's not my. I'm not trying to hide those kinds of things from them. And I think I think people should be more transparent.
You're saying let me live my fucking life and don't worry about it.
Yeah, I mean,
right? But see, the thing is they can use that against you at some point. So everything.
Oh, absolutely. But like,
so they shouldn't have it.
And
anyway.
if they do,
That's that risk.
If they do, then I just deal with it. You know.
Oh, well, I mean, what are the odds?
Lawyers'
that
fees.
They're going to come after you. It's like.
Well, no, I don't know.
Matt in Oklahoma City.
Yeah, it's like,
well, but see, but that doesn't matter if you're huge or small. It doesn't matter. You guys are still, the people are still on this. If I'm Escobar or I'm the local Coke dealer.
Right.
Okay. They don't need that. They shouldn't. It's too late. Don't get me wrong. The horse is already out of the barn on this. But I was screaming. I didn't have one of these stupid phones, the smart ones. I had a flip phone.
I remember.
Until I started working
make funny.
Until I started working at Science Museum, Oklahoma.
Like 11, man, is when he got one.
It was
09.
It was 2011. Yeah, and I didn't want one, and I was working at Science Museum, Oklahoma, marketing director, and they gave me one of these deals.
Hey, Matt, I got a question. You're 14 years behind us.
Mm-hmm.
What were you listening to in the 80s when you were a child?
Listening
like 5,
to
6, 7, 8, 9.
Like music wise, whatever my sister put on.
Which was
how old is she?
She's 7 years older than I am. Okay. So, I mean, she put on MTV and VH1 all the time. I wasn't allowed to watch it. I don't think she was. But when my parents went home,
as a child,
she would
do
put
you
that
remember
on.
any of the music?
Oh yeah, I mean, I grew up listening to like the Backstreet Boys. I wasn't into that music though. I wasn't into rap. I wasn't into that. I think I was really involved with my grandparents, and so I listened to a lot of classical and jazz and like kids.
Okay.
I don't know, soundtracks. So my grandma would make me tapes, and I really didn't like anything until the Beatles came along, and the Beatles graduated me to Led Zeppelin, and Led Zeppelin opened the doors to music, period. Like after that, I was into music. So it took a while. Like I really wasn't into much of anything, but I did listen to the stuff my sister did. But that's because I had no choice.
Yeah, right. You were kind of you're on the ride with her.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I remember hearing as a kid in the 70s, 72, 73, 74. It was Cream. I remember hearing Cream and CCR and Led Zeppelin was a big. My dad. It was my dad.
Did I say Backstreet Boys?
You did.
It wasn't Backstreet Boys. It was
New Kids on the Block.
New Kids on the Block. Thank you.
I just remember Heat Wave. It was big in my world as a child.
See, I was.
What was it? Heat Wave.
Heat Wave. I didn't.
It's like soul music.
No, I never got into that.
Like that stuff. Yeah, the Gap Band, early stuff, early Commodores.
Yeah.
And then, like when late 70s, early 80s, when MTV came around, it was off the races. It was 80s. It was go time in the 80s.
Yeah.
Yeah. God.
Everyone was pumping out videos that were just silly.
Yeah. It just,
Journey.
But it was awesome. We were 12, 13 years old. And it was
I know.
Yeah.
And now the MTV stands for media now, of course, and not music.
Well, it's not music. They haven't had music in 20 years.
Journey, hold on.
We got to wrap this up here in a few minutes. I got to go do jiu-jitsu.
Oh, yeah.
But I want to call it Cassandra, you little shit.
Yeah, we're about an hour and a half, so that's a good run.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we can end it here, man. Yeah. Let's,
yeah.
And
you can go buy your, or what would you say? Go see if a Porsche shows up at your
if I can manifest that Porsche.
Yeah. So you manifest some seats.
Well, I think a great conversation too.
Thanks for coming, Matt. Thanks for coming, Jim.
Yeah.
See you guys.
You're more than welcome. Bye.
I hope you hit record.
Right.